usually what you want to know. So I'm just injecting so you know that I'm there. You know.
Okay.
Come on, bro.
In the end of the Shabbat, as it began to dawn towards the first day of the week.
You know that it's Sunday today on every calendar around the world. So we got the end of the Shabbat as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week. That's the time frame. Okay, come on, brother.
Came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre. And behold, there was a great earthquake, for the angel of the Lord descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat upon it. His countenance was like lightning, and his raiment white as snow. As for fear of him, the keepers did shake, and became as dead men. And the angels answered and said unto the women, Fear not ye, for I know that ye seek Jesus, which was crucified.
Right.
He is not here,
Right.
for he is risen.
He is what?
He is risen.
That's past tense. Not he's rising now. He already gone, the angel tell me. And this was at the end of the Sabbath as it began to dawn toward the first day.
Let me say this.
Finish that verse off,
Let
brother.
me inject this. First of all, I know that Shabbat is right. I used to attend at the in the synagogue with one of the rabbis, my friend, when I was in California. So it's the first. So we're gonna cut a lot of, and short and go.
Yeah, go straight to the meat.
I used to attend there with my friend who was a rabbi, and he was in the Judaism of the Judaism Jew. He was of the Judaism Jew, and I used to we used to teach. We did and talk from before this Bible, before the King James.
We read Hebrew.
Before he was in let me use the word office, or installed as a king in the 1500s. Before this Bible, we go back to the Torah law dealing with Moses in the 1200, and actually it was during the time of his father, Solomon. Okay. And in the 1200s, David was in like 1000, right?
I thought you said Moses.
BC before Christ. I'm coming up back down. And Moses was in the right
14,
there in
around
that
14,
12.
14.
We can bad it down. We read here, read there. But the thing that I'm saying is that the Torah at that time, was beginning to exist. In the beginning, and it was existing because this is what's written in the Torah law, and you'll find that in the Talmud. So I don't have a problem with the Shabbat, which I call to some in the English term Shabbat, because they don't know that the B and the V have the interchangeables in the sign.
Depending on what dialect.
Right. So the thing is, we can just cut that, say to the chase, and go right into what we are about the day, because with me, that's.
I understand, brother. All we trying to do is just answer.
I can hear that you all do believe in it when you say Shabbat. So I already know the day that you're standing on, because you're standing on the same day that I'm standing on, because there is no other day. And if you go into Exodus, the 20th chapter, you're going to find out that he didn't say that he was a jealous God. He said he was a what? Well, y'all been in the Torah, right? Okay, what kind of God did he say he was? He said he was a what?
He's a merciful.
No, let me share something with you.
And he's a.
I'm not talking. Let me share something with you. I know what you know now. When you told me the 20th chapter of Exodus, Malachi to you specifically. You'll never forget me with this. There's a one-letter difference between the word jealous and zealous. And when you go into Torah law, that's about the only word. And I should have. My books are not here. My books are not here. But you'll see that the Hebrew Z favors.
Look that up, brother. Go ahead, brother.
The Hebrew Z favors the English J. And there has been a misprint there where they called jealous. It was actually zealous. Because he could not be jealous. Because jealousy is cruel than the grave. You know the word. Okay?
I don't understand, because if they're saying that the Lord is jealous, it's almost like
no, that's physical traits.
Being that we're married.
Physical traits. He could not have that. Now watch this here. God is a spirit. St. John the 4th chapter 24th verse. But let me say this portion that will lead up to that. The thing is that in the Torah law, it doesn't say that he was a jealous God. When you read it, you'll see it where it says that he was a zealous God. That means he's always ready to come for his children, which is his firstborn at that time, which was Israel. Okay? So you will read it. Pull it up in the Torah law.
Jealous in Exodus 34. His name is jealous.
Okay, but What I'm trying to tell you is Exodus the 20. I'm trying to tell you now that the J and the Z, you can take time and you can run that.
14.
The J and the Z run together in the English version. I'm talking
look
to
it
you.
up. We looking it up right now.
Let me show you something. This Bible came from the Torah law, the first 5 books of the Bible. And if you bring the Torah and match it, I've done it. You'll see that it won't help.
So what we got to do to make sure we all clear. So what we do to make sure we all clear. We go to. Hold on, real quick.
Well, we're not done answering.
Let me make a statement. Let me make a statement for the record. For the record, what we have to do is, since we understand that this is an English version, we go to the Hebrew, look it up, and then we all clear on it.
Now to go to the Torah law.
We going there. Exodus 34 and 14. That's Torah, right?
I said I didn't call 34. I called 20.
The same word is in there.
But you did what you want to do. I just want you to know where I called from. That's why I said what I'm saying. But I'm not going to push what you're doing.
No, we're going to go right to you.
Okay, I told you 20.
Remember that.
So I hear 34.
Why not? Okay, let's go to Exodus 20. Pull it up real quick.
Go to Exodus 20.
Okay, now.
And then, fellas, allow me to be a part
We
of the
still
facilitation.
we are still answering. What I'm saying, like, let us answer the question. We haven't even finished answering because the question is
we
about.
didn't jump down a different stream.
Now, James, there's no J's in the Hebrew law, so you couldn't get Jehovah. You see what I'm saying? Yahweh. Yahweh. We know that Jehovah is a misnomer, but none of the Hebrew words start with a J when you come to think about it. So he couldn't have said.
It wasn't vowels either. So we understand. Brother, we understand. We're dealing with translation.
We're not talking about vowels.
We're dealing with translation.
Talking about man, what does vowel have to do? I'm gonna get you a chance. I'm
saying you said J. It wasn't no A,
wait
I, O, U, E.
Wait a minute, I'm not arguing. We're not talking about vowels. We can get the vowel, but we're not talking about quiescent vowels. We know that. What we're talking about now
what verse you talking about?
The distinction between zealous and jealous is really what we're talking about.
What verse you talking about?
where he said that he's a jealous
Distinction
guy.
between zealous and jealous.
It's not going to be because there's no such thing as the
You called Exodus 20 and said jealous was in
He said he's a jealous guy, visiting iniquity upon the fathers, upon the filth, and I think it's the fifth.
right here, jealous, verse 5. Now trip off this. Remember Quanah, right? When you see
So
that?
we're going to Exodus 20 and 5.
Jealous. Same word. Quanah.
That's the Hebrew.
Exodus 20 and 5.
25.
Now let's read the definition.
Read what that says.
In Hebrew is
Quanah.
Quanah.
Okay, now-
Jealous only of God.
Okay, now I said the Torah law.
This we in the Torah.
Now watch this here. I know if you have a Torah book in here, I know what it's going to be. But watch this here. Again, we all agree. We all agree that there's no J in what? In wait a minute. There's no J in the Hebrew letters, so it's impossible for you to find a J in the Torah law saying that he's a jealous. I'm just telling you what it is. So when you find that, but my point is, when you find that, okay, then you can always come back to me. Okay, regardless of what's going on there, we all intelligently.
So let's be clear. So what you're saying is, when we go into the Hebrew and we look up this definition that says jealous, what you're saying is that jealous in the definition is a misprint.
I'm saying it again. I'm gonna say it again, but I'm gonna let you come to that. I want all
That's
of
why
you.
we make sure you
I
understand.
want all of you gentlemen to look in get the Torah law.
We in it, brother. We in the
I
verse that you called.
I was gonna ask a question, but I'm gonna let you go ahead on the talk. I'm gonna sit back because I wanted to just finish. Go ahead.
Okay.
Because what you're doing.
Let's deal with the
The
language.
gentleman asked me a question. I wanted to address it, and if you allow me. But it seemed like that you curved me. All I want to do is say to him, when it finished, I want not here, but I want you to pick up a Hebrew.
We got.
I ain't talking about the Torah. I say a Torah, okay, Bible.
We got
okay,
one, man.
and I want you to look in there, and you will not find the word. I ain't talking about somebody that revised the Torah and call it the Torah. I'm talking about the original Torah.
We have a
law.
Torah.
You're not going to find it in there.
No,
and
you
when
won't find it.
when you do, you're not going to find a J in there, my friend Malachi, because there's no J.
We know that. Like
how can you
with
accept
Let's set it.
you're preaching to the crowd. Like now, you set the stage. Like certain things we shouldn't have to juggle between. Like when we say Jesus, we say it because like right here, like this brother who's been waiting patiently. We have to say Jesus for him so he can understand that now us. In this represent, we know stuff about Yeshua.
Right.
So, but you attacking us at the same thing. You say we ain't got a problem about
We
it.
ain't got a problem.
So you
that's
say
why I'm
jealous.
saying I haven't, because my thing is what's implied.
So before
in-
Malachi came in, I was
in
going to
the
bring
questions.
something to the table, but I was going to say, as I told him when I finished that, he could come in and then I'll later catch it with this
Well, that's-
brother.
that's
So we are still in the middle of answering a question.
We still haven't answered your
Like,
question.
you asked
about the
question.
number.
The middle of the week.
That's why I was coming back to when I used this, but we'll just let that stay in the grave. let this gentleman.
So what you're saying? So when let's close this part out real quick.
Let's close it out.
Let's close it out.
You all can take it up on your own time to find it out.
So for the record, the word qanah, which is the Hebrew word for it,
Which is not J.
which is not J. So we saying, what is the definition of the word
And
qanah?
I mentioned it earlier. It is zealous instead of jealous. Now I'm gonna leave it there. Now
Okay, that's his answer.
Let's leave it there.
Okay.
That's his answer.
Okay. And you guys never got a chance to answer his what day of the resurrection. But my thing is, my thing is, cause it's when you're trying to teach in a doctrinal type of way. My question is about what's implied in that. I can hear you trying to get to something that's implied in the question of what the resurrection is. What's implied? Because in reading your answer, you talked about the first part. You said an evil generation seeks a sign. What's implied in seeking Jesus? What's implied in the resurrection? What's implied in the distinction between zealous and jealous? And so, asking questions they're gonna answer it in a doctrinal way through the scriptures. That's just how that's how they got to do it.
That's not a problem.
So you got to let them answer it.
Not a problem.
But remember what I'm asking is what's implied. I'm not asking for an answer. I'm asking because then you got to, once you tell me your answer, then you got to tell me what that answer means to me.
Not a problem.
Now,
All we ask is let us answer.
Now,
That's all I'm saying.
Well, okay.
That what it means to you, not
You
out
didn't
of the
hear,
scripture what's implied.
you didn't hear me when I said that we gonna shortcut it because they've already answered what I was asking.
No, that was my questions about the
Okay,
implied implications.
because you said that you also said earlier that I was. You could tell
I
that there was something
kinda
implied
tell
by
that
me.
there's something
But what
implied in
I
the
was doing
resurrection
was
question.
not implying. I was asking. See what I was doing. I was asking them to see if they believed in the Sabbath, which I do. And when I found out that they believe in the Sabbath, as I just want to bring you up to where we are.
Okay.
When I found out that we're all on that one accord.
So
Now,
that's
if
what the
you
question
differ
was.
from, if you differ
Okay.
from that, do you?
No, I don't. You know, all I know is Resurrection Sunday is today. That's all I know. So that's all I know.
Okay, we'll deal with
We'll
that.
deal with
Now, but we all are on the
Yeah.
same page and same content.
So that's what the resurrection question was asked for, so you can find out
When these
where
gentlemen, since they
where they
turned,
know if
when
they know
they
the
turned their
resurrection.
face to the
He's
Jerusalem,
studying us.
I already know that, and I want us to bring out that we can. There may be other words ways they want to go, that they can diminish that and go into whatever else that they have. You understand what I was?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're gonna go about answering those questions about.
What is it?
Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna answer
But
them fully,
we
but we
got-
have to complete
We're
that.
hoping that your question will be
Answered.
answered as we are going on.
Yeah,
correct.
And it will.
Correct.
Check this out. That will happen.
Correct.
But check this out. What I'm saying is, when something gets asked, we need to be able to answer. Because
Correct.
how we gonna answer is not off our own feelings or what we think. Right?
Yeah.
We gonna go into the record because we
That's
believe
what
it.
the
word
We,
said.
yeah, we believe it's divinely
Everything-
inspired.
everything we
Even though we
stand
know
on.
it's a translation, we know it's divinely inspired, right? So let's deal with the language issue real quick and get back to this resurrection. We need to answer Isaiah 28 and 11 real quick, brother. Isaiah 28 and 11 about language. And then,
Same thing we had with the Septuagint.
Yeah,
Same
because-
thing we have with the Silent
because-
Song.
because-
That's still his question, right?
Yeah. And then look, we coming to you too.
Okay.
We're gonna answer the
I'm ready.
resurrection. Isaiah 28 and 11.
28 and
Move
11.
9 and through, or
Yeah.
Let me start at verse 9. Isaiah 28 verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge? That's the question. And whom shall make understand doctrine?
Whom shall he make?
That's the question. Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast.
Like the Lord say, becomes a baby. You understand this? Babies are weaned from milk and drawn from breast. All right, come on,
I
brother.
love that.
Verse 10. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line. Here a little and there a little.
That's the criterion studying the Bible. You can read something in Revelations and it connects with Genesis. You can read something in Jeremiah and it connects with the book of Hebrews. So you got to piece the Bible together. How the scriptures say you got to piece it together. All right. Next verse, brother.
Verse 11.
Uh-huh.
For with a stammering lips and another tongue.
Another what?
Wait a minute before you go. Were you quite with him what he was
I was
saying?
just
there?
going to say, I was just going
Were you understanding?
precept
Yeah,
on precept.
I'm
Let me
understanding
say
precept upon precept is how
Let me say this.
you build and understand it. I'm definitely in the
Let me say
resurrection.
this.
You know how
Let me
it's
say-
saying.
here's the way that I
But
interpret it.
We
This is
gonna
where I'm
get
coming
there. I know
from.
you
You know where I'm at.
Right, right.
See, I'm sitting
See,
here.
I understand.
I'm sitting here interpreting what they saying is, we had an old saying, you can't put the cart before the horse.
We say
No,
scripture
no, no,
interprets
no,
scripture.
No, I heard you hear me. Now, you can't put line 5 up on line 1. You would be going in advance ahead of yourself. You can't put line 3 up on line 4. You be retarding ourselves. But what he's saying is line upon line. It has to match out with the scriptures. Okay, exactly line up to the plumb line. Now that's what I'm receiving. You know?
No doubt, no
Okay,
doubt.
you go.
And what the brother just said, scripture interprets itself.
Scripture interprets.
That's what that means.
That's
Right?
what I'm saying. So I mean, I'm not. You guys are doing etymologies and stuff like
We
that.
gonna
But
get into that,
you
brother.
said that. So, but I'm hearing you.
We
So
gonna-
I'm with you. I'm with you.
That's all right.
I'm just.
No,
I'm
what
just.
I'm doing is they
I'm
come
just-
in. They came in my home, you all, and I wanted them to know exactly where I am with them. You understood,
That's
right?
right, that's
So
right.
they come in our home, and I wanted them to know. That's why I curdled it on my behalf. Is that if there's another way they wanted to go, they could diminish that. And I do apologize that you are, as you said, and explain yourself. I'm not going to try to verbalize it right now, but I do apologize for the indentation there. Okay, but that's what I just told him. Like when they talked about the Shabbat, is that I'm all in for that.
Praise
all praise.
I didn't have a problem with that.
All
And I mean, so the floor was open to Mr.
Okay.
Mel or whoever.
Read that verse 11.
Verse 11 again. For with a stammering lip
Uh-huh.
and another tongue
Right?
will he speak to this people.
And tongue, if you look in the beginning of most Bibles, it says translated out of the original tongue. So he said, with stammering lips and another language, tongue will I speak to this people. All right, now let's witness precept that though, right? 1 Corinthians 14 and 21. 1 Corinthians 14 and 21. 3:20 and 21, bro. And then let's get back to this resurrection. So, Brother
Yeah,
James,
every week.
yeah, so Brother James can understand.
Edification.
Yeah.
All
The
right.
implications of.
Edification. All praise. 1 Corinthians 14, 20th verse. Brethren, be not children in understanding. Howbeit, in malice, be ye children.
Right?
But in understanding, be
So
men.
now we got a criteria here. He say, be ye not children in understanding. Be children only in malice. Why? Because children can fight in one second and be playing the next.
That's right.
But and when it comes to understanding, we ought to be men. Like we know bunnies don't lay eggs, everybody in here, right?
Correct. Yea,
See
for
that?
me.
Yay for me too. Bunnies don't lay.
Put
So
away the fables, like you said.
Yeah,
Let's go to the real.
yeah.
No problem. You know, let's go.
Come on, bro. Finish that off, bro. 21.
All right, 21.
Mhm.
In the law,
Uh-huh.
it is written,
Uh-huh.
with men of other tongues and of other lips will I speak unto this people.
Right.
And yet, for all that will they not hear me,
Uh-huh.
saith the Lord.
Lord talking about it's gonna be different languages and all that when he speak to his people. And guess what? We still don't hear him. If it's in Hebrew, Greek, English, when it come down to the instructions of the Bible, everybody still got their own opinion. Let's get back to this resurrection. We was in Matthew.
No, let's not leave that yet, because I'm gonna read the scripture for you, because when you say be men and under what?
Understanding.
Understand.
Proverbs
Now,
25.
that's talking about something that he wants us to be. And
All right, patiently wait. I got my notes over here, so I'm
Okay,
bring
that's
y'all back
something
to
that-
my implications.
And when something is a being, it's an existing. And this has to be an existence in us. We had, as Paul said, when he was a child, he thought as a child, he stayed as a child, and he understood as a child. But we know that even men and women in grown adult bodies can yet have a child understanding concerning the scripture.
Cons, definitely.
Yeah, so we don't want to just run off from that, because we need, in order
Be men.
to be, this is something that is created and within that person, and that is we go on to mature, being perfect, which is a Greek word that means mature. But when we mature to that point of understanding, from a child, we are taught, as a child, we be taught up and trained in the right way, train up a child, and in that way, Jesus is that way. So the thing is, I'm saying, we have to know that we know what he wants us to know. And that means the revelation of who he is and what he wants us to understand has to be unlocked within us individually.
Agreed.
And I appreciate, I like what this gentleman is doing, is he's, searching. But I'm just going to read a scripture in the 29th chapter of the book of Jeremiah. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this scripture, then I'm going to put a pin in it, and I guarantee you I'm going to let it hang, but I'm going to come back to it later on for the benefit that this gentleman here can, but I'm going to put it over in a pen and let it hang, okay?
Excuse me,
All right.
what, can I use your restroom?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There's one right there to the, she'll assist you.
Thank you.
And I'll wait till you come
Somebody
back.
in there? Okay.
I'll wait till you come back, Mr.
Bishop said
Malcolm.
it's fine.
It's fine? I mean, I don't want to,
But that's why I say she'll assist you. She'll
Okay.
assist you. She,
I can come around the corner?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, you can go ahead.
Okay.
You just gonna do it, but you just go ahead. You fine.
Okay.
You fine.
Mr.
You connect
Stout.
to the internet?
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. How do you get?
Oh.
Connect to?
Okay, it's the first. Oops.
Oops.
All right, here.
No,
Okay,
yeah.
she's the first one, and then she'll touch her in the password.
Okay.
What you say? Oh.
I wish you would have asked what I asked. 'Cause
No,
showed
I
her-
didn't.
Not
I
a bad
didn't
one.
need it now because I wanted to hear it first, so I could hear. I gotta hear it
And then-
so that I could get.
You know what BibleGateway.com too. You can follow us online as far as the Bible verses.
Oh
we
yeah,
send out.
yeah.
Yeah. Actually, look, that's where I'm at right now. So I'm in my book and I'm also on the website. That way we can get edification. We get there. Also, another thing that we're using, just for you in case, we also use like the Strongs.
But you notice I ain't even open mind up here because I want the implications because there's some underlying these questions. It's kind of like chess now. Everybody's kind of
I
moving
think we
in
need
on
to
their
jump
day.
back a little bit too
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the record.
So whenever I get to, so when I get to that,
that,
yeah, that's the implication.
Oh, okay. Kind of get the foundation of the
Yeah.
fellowship.
Thank you, bro. Definitely appreciate it.
You didn't want your cup running over.
No, pay the water bill, please. We'll be at Jeremiah 29th chapter.
I said 29th chapter.
Yes, sir.
And, let me see. And I said, I'm gonna have to, not to be ashamed, but I'm gonna back.
You said drop a pen in it or something, guarantee you'll come back.
Well, what I'll do is, let's pass over and roll.
Okay.
Something else, well, I'm gonna have to go
Okay.
and, pick up on it, okay?
Okay,
If
let's
y'all
go back.
mind, let me
Let's go back to
do a
Matthew
jump
28.
while we're going back to Matthew. And I don't mean to, I just wanna,
All right,
on that Quinah real quick,
Yeah, read the definition.
I just want to read the definition so we understand. The word about the jealous, or it says that both words are Quinah, which is Hebrews 7:6-7, which means used of God as not bearing any right, the severe anger of departure from himself.
The severe anger of departure. Now, if you got the Most High, right? Every time, the first commandment is have no other gods before Him. Right. So in other words, though, and whenever anybody that's in covenant with Him worships another power or another god, he becomes angry.
Or Quinah.
Yeah,
Say
or
Quinah.
Quinah. We ain't gotta say
They
jealous.
ain't gotta say
'cause
jealous,
the way
they
English-
say Quinah.
Why not? Right? He becomes angry. Reason being, we are in a covenant with the Most High, the Creator of all. We are in a covenant with Him. Right? From the Mount Sinai all the way up to when Jesus Christ, even though we know what no J's, we call him Yahawashai or Yehoshua, however the
Right.
Most High salvation, He shall save His people. Even that was a covenant when He took and broke bread and drank the wine. He said, guess what? This is my blood which is shed for the remission of many sins. So that's a covenant that we under. Being that you under covenant such as a marriage covenant with God. Whenever we as His people or bride who enter into covenant with Him starts dibbling and dabbling with other gods, he becomes Quinah or angry.
That
That's
satisfactory, elder?
okay. I'll praise the Most High.
Hallelujah.
Let's go back to this Matthew 28 so we can deal with this though. Matthew 28, we was in verse 6. Now we got the time frame in the end of the Shabbat, and our elder here is on accord with us. He understands the Shabbat is the 7th day of the week, right?
Correct.
So at the end of the Shabbat, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week, which everybody calls Resurrection Sunday, first day of the week would have to be Sunday, right? Even though people today say the Shabbat is Sunday, well, that would be Resurrection Monday then, according to their doctrine, but it's not. At the end of the Shabbat, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week,
It's twilight.
okay, came Mary Magdalene. They got third in, right? Now verse 6 say what? What does 6 say?
He is not hurt,
Uh-huh.
for he is risen,
Right?
as he said. come, see the place where the Lord lay.
So by the time they got there at the end of the Shabbat, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week, that's when they got there. The angel told them he already
He's
gone.
already
He was
gone.
already
So
gone.
okay, now let's count back 3 days and 3 nights. We'll see by the time the sun went down on what they call Wednesday today. By the time the sun went down on Wednesday, because we know he was in there 3 days and 3 nights, right? Because the first day of unleavened bread was coming in, which was a high holy day. They kept saying, let us not do it on the feast day. It is the preparation day. Let us not do it on the feast day. So Joseph of Arimathea and Nicodemus begged for his body, got him off the cross or the execution stake, and then lay him in a sepulchre never any man lay. And he was in there 3 days and 3 nights. So you got Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. By the end of the Shabbat, he was rising. He was already gone. So by the time they got there on the first day of the week, which they call Resurrection Sunday, he was not there. He didn't rise on
You
Sunday.
missed him.
He was already gone. How do we know that? Because the women that came looking for him, the angel told
He was
them,
already gone.
by y'all here on the first day of the week, he out of here already.
So you still answering this question, or you
Yes.
that? Okay.
We on the same
We on the
record.
same
So
record.
y'all ready? Y'all ready to
I was
answer my
about to
question?
ask, are you satisfied with what you hear?
No, because they not even answering my question.
No, we finna get to your question.
They haven't even
But
talked
we-
to me
don't know
yet.
what is.
Let's clear something up.
So my
Gentlemen, can I clear this up? What we found out from what you're calling my question in parentheses is that my question to them is where they were all standing since they stood toward Jerusalem. Okay, then I found out that we all, when he was speaking of the Shabbat, we agree in the day or the number on that day that he wrote. That's what he's explaining now. So we are all in the same boat with that. Okay. Now, we understand that there's still something on the flow that needs to be dealt with. I was
and that's
all the points are here. But we talking about
So what as I'm listening and then when we talking about precepts
Yes, sir.
and understanding of the scripture,
Yes, sir.
there's a systematic way of doing it.
Yes, sir.
You can do it through hermeneutics or you can do it through exegesis.
Which
I see
means-
these brothers are doing exegesis of the scriptures. But there's a
Hermeneutics.
no, what about
No, you would call us more of a hermeneutic. We
Okay.
believe that the scriptures.
Okay, so
interpret
so
itself.
when we do hermeneutics, my definition?
Hermeneutics basically means the scriptures interpret itself.
Yeah, hermeneutics is a field of study concerned with the philosophy, the science, and interpretation, especially the communication of the scriptures. What's implied. So I'm looking at through hermeneutics, and then but there's an exegete. When you want an exegete is to indicate the etymology. So when you say
That's whenever we break the words down.
when you're breaking the words down. So y'all was doing both.
Yeah,
Y'all were doing both of them.
When it came to jealous, we did that.
Right, so-
But hermeneutics, meaning the Bible interprets itself.
That's
That's
what
our
you
position.
I'm with y'all. That's why I brought it up when you was talking about precepts and understanding the Bible. That's what I'm trying to say. So those things of when we talking about what roles do the divine illumination play? That's what I'm trying to say. So now I can go. Now that we know where how we open the scripture.
But
Okay,
I think
going
he
back
was
to
saying
him
it, no, I
then?
think
Okay,
he
we
was
go back
saying
to
it,
him.
it was a matter
We
that
go back
we
to
haven't dealt with. And I'm thinking he's trying to make sure about the whole Sunday.
Well, I just want to let him know that I do understand.
Well,
I do understand. I'm saying the way I'm trying to tell you that I'm listening to both of y'all, and I'm talking about the precepts.
He
of
just want to make
understanding.
sure we don't lose no ground.
Okay, so I appreciate that don't want me to be lost in the Hebrew of understanding what you brothers were doing when you turned the wall.
Let me see.
Okay.
We started off, I think all of us in agreement, originally, we started with the resurrection and word, and kind of got theme. You know, even you said
What's
about
implied?
the resurrection. Right?
What's implied?
And you came with the hint or the implication of it. Okay, now, not only was it a hint or an implication at that time that was implicated, it came out, okay, as a topic to be talked about. And it came out this way,
That's Hermes.
and it came out this way when I mentioned about excluding all other calendars, Bulgarian, Roman, and let's get with the Hebrew calendar or the Jewish calendar style. And then doing that, we had to come in with the number.
The number,
of
that
the
one,
day.
first
So
day.
we were working with the number. When I say we, Mr. Malachi chose to lead it here, and he's doing a good job. And by him beginning to lead it, I found out that not only was he mentioning the word sabah, but he was lining up with the scriptures as it is, line upon line. It is this day that he's still bringing out now. And I don't want to come in on him with that.
Right. But that's not ear to hear, and what I say about implying, because I hear him talk about whom understands, precept upon precept.
Yes, sir.
Who are the people that's